Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me again. It's your boy TeaRon. That's TeaRon period. And it's another review. So I must be here with.
Hey, everybody. It's me. I'm Tiera Janee. And like TeaRon said, we are back with another review. Excited to talk to y'all. And I'm really excited to talk about this one.
So if you're watching this, before we get into the review, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on this video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are listening to this as a podcast medium, make sure you follow the podcast and leave a 5-star rating. We don't want anything other than 5 stars. If you're not going to leave 5, go somewhere else, okay? You can follow myself. I'm TeaRon. That's at TeaRon World on Instagram and at TeaRon with 2 underscores on TikTok. And you can also follow Ubiquitous Blacks on all social media platforms. Tiera, where can they follow you as well?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at It's Tiera Janee. That's ITSTIERAJANEE. Sorry, y'all, I'm not on TikTok, but that's all right. That's okay. TeaRon's there. So yes, follow me there on Instagram, not on TikTok. That's where TeaRon is. And then also, if you want to just reach out to the show to find me, you can do that as well.
Yes, and if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or you just want to show love, you can also email us ubiquitousblacks@gmail.com. And I'm excited about getting into this review. Let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it.
The review that we are going to be doing today is going to be that of Hulu's new original series, The Other Black Girl.
For someone you have to meet. This is Hazel May McCall, my new assistant. Really? Hi.
You know that hall of white people they have here?
Welcome to Wagner.
Wagner's just... You'll see. I am ready to recommend your promotion to assistant editor.
I lit so many intention candles for this. What the?
Now, The Other Black Girl started out as a novel in 2021.
So let's talk about it. The novel, it was written by Zakiya Dalila Harris.
I think it's Delilah.
Delilah. Okay, well, Black people, we spell names differently. So Zakiya. Sorry, girl, if it's Delilah. If it's Delilah,
it's the fact that we know that it's Zakiya, or what if it's Zakiya?
Because you know how we are. It could go either way. But Miss Harris, she's the author of this book originally that came out in 2021, like you mentioned. So let's talk about it. Here's a little blurb or description about it. The debut novel follows a woman who is the only Black person working at a publishing company. It was sold to an auction to a TRIA publishing group for over $1 million. So that's a little bit about the book. About what we are, how it came to be. Mm-hmm.
What that means is this book already had a lot of money going behind it from the jump. Mm-hmm. Because to me, if the books came out in 2021, it must have been done really well for them to bid at that much. Yeah. And then from what I've seen online from the reading community, which doesn't feel like I'm part of that anymore. But everybody loved this book. It did really well, and it was fast tracked into being a series because here we are now, September 2023, and we have 10 episodes that Hulu has given us. So
yeah, impressive. I mean, impressive. Like, first of all, Zakiya, ma'am, cash your check, collect your coins. Love to see it. Hand clap for you. First and foremost, but also, yeah, it's really inspiring and really cool to see that something so fresh, so new, like people still have time to read the book because the show just came out. So I'm excited.
Yeah. So our eyes, we watched this as people who did not read the book, so we don't know what's going on, how things come about, who's who, all these things. So for me, I said to you, I was like, hey, I'm going to commit to the first 3 episodes, right?
Yeah.
I'm now on like episode 6. So if that means anything.
Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you. I got to be honest. Again, when you first told me that we were going to review this, I thought it was a movie. Did not even know that it was a show that had multiple episodes. So I am happy to know that the story is ongoing and there's enough of the story for it to be several episodes. And I too have made it up to episode 6.
Well, see, and we didn't. That was not my intention because I got things to do, right? So I was not going to watch all of this. I fell asleep watching it. Doesn't mean it was boring. I just fell asleep because I was tired. But it's because I kept watching it, and so there's that. Let's get into the cast.
All right, so we have the cast of the show. Starting with Nella, she's our main character. She's played by Sinclair Daniel. We have Hazel, who is an important character to the whole story, she's Hazel Mae McCall. And I think that's important to say all 3 names because that's how they always introduce her in the show. So I think that's important to say. She's played by Ashleigh Murray. We have Malika.
Yeah,
It's Malika. Again, you know how we do. Malika, the best friend of Nella in the show, and she's played by Brittany Adamulo. You got Forgive me, Brittany girl. I'm sorry. I'm doing terrible with names today. Forgive me, y'all. Then we also have go ahead, T.
It's Brittany Adebumola.
Thank you. Brittany girl, listen, I loved you in this. Apologies. Then we also have Vera, who's played by Bellamy Young. And for those of you who watched Scandal back in the day, y'all know who that is. She was married to the president. Her name was Melly. So she's not a stranger to you if you watch Scandal. And then lastly, we have the owner of the publishing company, played by Eric McCormick, and his name is the last name's Wagner. What's the first name, T? We don't even have that on our list.
Richard
Wagner, yes.
We also have Garcelle Bouvet in the show.
Queen.
And Garcelle Bouvet is playing the role of Diana Gordon, right?
Yes. Very important character. Very.
Really solid cast, but also really solid performance. So all the main characters, which are the 2 Black girls, I hadn't seen them in much. Personally, I haven't. And so to me, they're like new faces, or they're just now getting these, this significant role in their careers. And they are doing their thing with this, I must say.
I agree.
What was your first impression? So we start out the show, so you get the plot there. The idea is that there is a Black girl working in corporate America. In this case, it's publishing. And she is quite literally the only one at the office until this new girl, Hazel, is hired.
We are so excited. Very excited. There she is. Nella, come. There's someone you have to meet. Hazel, this is Nella. Nella, meet Hazel Mae McCall, my new assistant. Really? Wow. Hi. It's so nice to meet you.
Yes.
Tiera, I know you did the whole corporate office thing. How did you feel when the show was starting and you were submerged into this world of the other Black girl? You've been the other Black girl, right?
I have been the other Black girl, and then I have been the original Black girl, and then had to, befriend the new Black girl. I was experiencing quite a bit of PTSD, not gonna lie to you. It was very real. It was very relatable. I was like, I shuddered a little bit, and I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. Oh, okay. And I will say, I was impacted by it so much that I text one of my good girlfriends now, who was the other Black girl in one of my previous corporate jobs. And she and I are like really dear friends now. But, we definitely could feel that type of energy when she started, and I had already been there. I was the Black girl. So it was funny to like text her and be like, girl, you have to watch this. So yeah, very relatable.
The thing that got me was within the office, because we immediately meet all the other co-workers, the characters in that office, and everybody's a little kooky, and everyone is insistent and I'm sure you can relate to this. Everyone is insistent that Nella meets this new girl. They're like, oh, you gotta meet her. She's great. Really, what they're saying is there's another Black girl here. You're Black. You all will get along automatically.
Yeah. Off the string. Off the string. Yeah.
So we see the two characters meeting for the first time. And one thing that was interesting to me was you could tell the writing was there. And this is always a good thing when there's a movie or a series that has the novel or a book to back it up, is that it can be really strong in its writing, translating from book to screen. And this was no different. So when the two characters meet, there is this verbiage that happens where Nella is speaking to Hazel, and they almost are like trying to gauge how Black are we going to be, right? And so in conversation, there's two conversations happening. There's the one that you hear, and then there's the one that you get. And Nella is like, okay, I'm from here. Where you from? That's the first conversation. And eventually they get to a point where they find like their medium, and they're like, okay, yes.
Oh, you're from Harlem.
Oh, Black Mecca, born and bred.
Oh, Nella and I, actually both from Connecticut. It's not as cool as Harlem, but we turned out all right. Didn't we, Nella?
Did you go to college up there too?
UVA.
Yeah, Howard, class of 19.
Wow. You must have some crazy homecoming stories.
I mean, girl, the ones I can remember. Lil Baby performed my senior year.
What?
Girl, it was serious. I am still recovering.
Oh my God. What I would give. A kidney. I would give a kidney.
Give me the kidney then.
What?
I definitely picked up on that. And I think it's one of those, it's almost like the same thing as doing a head nod when you see somebody in the office and you kind of go, what's up? Like, I see you, you see me. It's one of those like unwritten, unsaid things. So like, I feel like the girls were being like polite and saying like, the getting to know you kind of things. But also, as you said, like there were things not being said, but that were also understood.
Yeah. And so that's how we're just immediately submerged into it. One thing I will say is the show started out at a pace that was, to me, really rapid. By the time I got to episode 5, it slowed down a little bit. And I don't know if I like that. I don't know if you felt the same way, but I felt like it was like full steam ahead, even with like some of the darker, like thriller kind of moments where Nella's like tripping. She doesn't, know what's going on. She's having all these things happening in her head. That was really fast paced. And then somewhere along the way, we pumped the brakes a little bit. Did you feel like that though?
I did feel like that. And I think that was intentional because I think they were trying to show like how quickly things can happen. And then once you're in the midst of it, it kind of slows down because you're experiencing it, if that makes sense. So like out the gate, we're seeing Nella meeting the Hazel character, and then Hazel almost instantly immerses herself into Nella's life, her personal life, her work life. Her whole world becomes almost centered around this Hazel character. And then once she's in it and she kind of starts to feel like, maybe this ain't right. And the best friend and the boyfriend are kind of saying like, maybe you should take a second look at this girl, this new friend of yours. Then it feels longer and slower because they're trying to drive home that point of like how it feels when someone like kind of starts to take over your world, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you mentioned the boyfriend and the best friend. So we get a little bit of Nella's personal life, more than a little bit, I guess, where we are introduced to her boyfriend who she lives with. I don't know if they're more than that, but they do live together, it seems. And then we also are introduced to her best friend. Here's what I kind of was getting when I was like seeing these different relationships play out. In a professional setting, Nella has gotten used to being the only Black girl, right?
Yes.
She seemingly went to Wagner because one of her idols was, a Black woman who was an executive in publishing. And that landed her in a place where it just, I don't know. To me, she was used to, once we got her background, knowing that she was from Connecticut, she wasn't from Harlem like Hazel is. She seems to question her blackness a little bit. Her having a white boyfriend was, to me, a great bit of significance. It seemed to me like they wanted her to have a or let's say an interracial relationship on purpose, just to contrast like what her why her professional goals make sense for her. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it just seemed to me like, let me put it this way. Of course she would be with a white guy.
Are you saying that Black women from Connecticut tend to date white men? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying this Black woman from Connecticut who is used to being the token Black girl in a setting, right? From the school that she went to the job that she chose or whatever, she seems to be trying to validate her Blackness a lot of the time. But in her personal life, she ended up with a white guy. In a interesting aspect, her best friend is very Black. Very. And it seems to be like this best friend, Malika, is so intensely Black because Nella would want someone around her to balance out the fact that she doesn't feel that Black. However, in a professional setting, she's Black. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was your take on the different like dynamics of those three different relationships? Her boyfriend, her best friend, and then this new girl at work, Hazel, because it seemed to be really smart to me.
Yeah, no, now that you've talked that through, because again, when I saw the white boyfriend, I was like, why is he necessary? Why did he have to be white? Because I didn't see it in that way, the way that you just explained it. But I'm understanding your viewpoint. Still don't think he needed to be white. I think that point could have been driven home by her dating a Black man. I think that. But the white man didn't bother me. He didn't have lines.
It's about proximity, though.
I hear you, but like, I don't know. Maybe because I've known Black girls similar to this who are still dating Black men, but they still have had this same sort of like struggle, for lack of a better term. So I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's all about context. But I didn't mind the white man. Like, I didn't mind him. I thought his lines were funny. I thought that he was supportive. I thought that he played his role. Like, I didn't mind him at all. So he was fine. The best friend I adored, Malika. I thought she was great. I thought that she was like the comic relief, but also an important character, very important to Nella's life. And I like that. Like, I like that. And I like that she was funny, extremely Black, but she wasn't a caricature. At no point did I feel like she was, the coonish Black bestie. Never got that. So I appreciated that. I really appreciate it. But she was very Black. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a point where the Malika comes into contact with Hazel because Nella is, being spread thin. Also, Nella has this weird obsession with having to be more than just, professional friends with Hazel.
Yeah.
Which is that a thing? Like, I don't know. Have I ever done that? I don't think I've done that.
So let me speak for someone who's done that, especially younger in my career, starting off kind of like these women are. You do feel like your work friends are meant to be your life friends, your outside friends. So you do find this, you find yourself in a position where you're almost blurring the lines and you're becoming this, like, again, what I was talking about before, like Nella, her life starting to kind of revolve around this Hazel character. Like, that tends to happen, especially as you're younger and you're trying to navigate like work and life and career, and you're trying to put yourself in a certain position. That tends to happen. Now, I will say, as you get older, you stop doing that because you realize this may not always be the healthiest or the best. And also, because I've experienced this, you realize that your life friends, your outside of work friends may not always get along with your work friends. You know what I'm saying? And we see that with Nella and with the Malika and Hazel character, with Nella continuously trying to like integrate Hazel in her life, you know, in her friendships. And Malika's a good friend. She's a good girlfriend. She's like, girl, okay, if you want me to. But she makes it clear, like, you are my girl. I am your girl. If you want to be friends with her, cool. But I got my eye on her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they just had a very interesting, like, connection because, well, not connection. They didn't connect well at all.
Not at all.
Malika and Hazel. But they had an interesting interaction is what I was looking for there. Because Malika had heard about Hazel when she first started, because there's a point in the series where Hazel, without a doubt, sets Nella up in a professional setting. She hypes her up to say, hey, you know, she relates to her on a Black girl level, on a personal level. And she hypes her up to say, no, if you're not feeling this thing, you need to let your bosses know this. And so Nella attempts to do that. Nella attempts to voice her opinion against her better judgment. She was stuck between that place where who she is was conflicting with with her career, what she's trying to be. And the Hazel was like, I got your back. Like when you're ready to let them know how you really feel, I'll be there. And Nella got swerved. Like,
and Chartricia is problematic.
What did you think?
I'm sorry, me?
Yeah, could be helpful.
I really liked the book. It's very, very gripping.
Let's talk.
That's when Nella should have known, like, hey now, okay, I see what it is. But even still, after that, Nella still was trying to make a friendship with Hazel work. Thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All I'm gonna say is relatable content. Yeah. I will say I have never personally been thrown under the bus by anyone that I worked with that was the other Black girl. I've been fortunate enough to always kind of be cool. Not always, most of the time be cool with the other Black girl. But there is that underlying like
competitive
competition. Yeah. And it's weird. You have to navigate that. And again, that's why I was saying, like, it's weird because you're trying to navigate that. You're trying to navigate your career trajectory and then also your personal life. And then you start to integrate these people into your personal life. The waters can get a little muddy. It can get a little muddy. Yeah.
And I also thought it was interesting. So there is a prized author that they work with who's, let me say this, that character is awesome. It's a very annoying character.
Okay.
The character, the author, I forget his name, but the character is so awful, so obnoxious, so full of himself.
Yes.
But he's good. He's really good.
Let me tap in here. For those of you who haven't watched it yet, this character, just so you can have a visual.
What's his name? Colin
something. But for those of you who haven't watched, I'm gonna tell you who it is. It's Kevin from The Office. If you've ever watched The Office, it's Kevin from The Office playing an author. So
yeah.
Right
not
there.
Only an author, but like a big time author who's basically keeping the lights on at this publishing house. So he's a big deal. He gets special treatment, and you can't just say anything to him, which is, you know, part of Nella's conflict is that she wants to voice, you know, her opinion about his work, but the job is like, don't say anything because he paying us, like, basically. So, but that character was really well done. Agreed. But what I want to also highlight is with Hazel, after we see her turn or leave Nella out to dry, that was our red flag as viewers. But we also don't know, as the series is playing out, we're just going over these episodes, we don't know much about Hazel. At one point, she ends up coming to Nella's apartment without Nella knowing, and she's just outside standing, looking in the window, like really weird vibes, really creepy stuff, right? And then that's when Nella is starting to get random notes, handwritten notes in her desk or her jacket. I don't know what it was in, but she's getting notes at the job telling her that she's got to leave. Little eerie stuff starts happening. She's getting random phone calls, and then there's some random little girl that keeps bumping into her in these different places. I still don't know what's going on yet because I'm only on episode 5. But where I left off was this mysterious character who basically has now let us know that Hazel isn't who she says she is, and she's trying to find a time to meet up with Nella and let her know, hey, you got to be careful because there's more going on here, which Nella's already kind of getting.
Mm-hmm.
But the last I left off, the meeting never happened, and now I'm just like on pins and needles. If you watch the show, you see what I just did there.
I see what you did there.
But now I'm anticipating what's happening, or what's to come for the rest of the series.
I have worked through the PTSD of the first 2 episodes because, whoo, child, it was triggering. It was hitting me hard. But no, in all seriousness, I'm really enjoying it. I am enjoying the newer faces. Again, the newer cast to me. I didn't necessarily know some of the cast members, so it's nice to see that. It's nice to see new faces, but also some of the old faces. I'm enjoying those as well. More seasoned actors. I'm enjoying the storyline. It's not typical. It's not something that we've seen in a show format like this. So I'm really enjoying it. There have been some good moments, some great moments for me. So I am having a good time with it.
I'm enjoying myself. I will say with series now, we're getting used to series being between like that 8 and 10 number, right?
Mm-hmm,
as far as number of episodes.
Yeah.
And I think that this probably could have been an 8 as opposed to a 10.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
and the only reason I say that is because, like I said, as in the middle there, the pace kind of slows up, not to a grinding halt, but to a very slow walk. Mm-hmm. And I think that if they had less time, that the pace would have kept up, and we wouldn't have lost the momentum a little bit. But it's not all lost, because I think I'm definitely going to finish the series. Absolutely. Because I watched it this far and I didn't intend to, but I think I'm definitely gonna finish it for sure.
Yes.
I'm enjoying my time with these characters. I'm enjoying this world that was created and this narrative that we don't get to see often, but also the mystery. I'm enjoying just I don't yet know some stuff I felt like was predictable. This is before I rate it. Let me say this to you. Mm-hmm. I felt like some stuff was predictable, but really what it was it was relatable because of the setting of being a Black, one of the few Black people in a professional environment. And I was like, I can see what's about to happen here. But at first I was like, oh, well, this is not great. Like, I know what's about to happen, but it was because I was relating to it.
That's so real.
It was weird.
It was weird. Yeah. It was
weird. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give my rating for this. I am going to give the series a Queen Latifah for sure. It has the potential to be way up there because it's so fresh and so new. But I'm going to give it a Queen Latifah. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to finish it. I'm pretty sure. What about you?
Okay. First of all, I am surprised because you were quite the critic, sir. So I am surprised to see that and to hear that, but that is lovely because I too would like to give it a Queen Latifah. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I'm enjoying the new actors and the new faces, but also some of the OG people that we've seen over the years. I think the storyline, like I said, is so relatable. It's so relatable, but it's done in a smart way, a clever way. It's not at all like pandering or at all coonish. It's great. It's really great so far. And I too was surprised at the 10 episodes, but I mean, I'm 5 episodes in, so it's fine. I could do 5 more. But yeah, I'm giving it a quick. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. So that being said, if you have made it this far, I say to you, hey, go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know how you're enjoying the series. If you finished it at this point, by the time you see us, I will have finished it. I know. So let's talk about it. Let's get in the comments and let me know how you feel about this series, The Other Black Girl. Was there anything that you disagree on? Or maybe you agree with us? I don't know. Let us know. Tiera, any last remarks for you?
Last remarks for me. Yeah, like same. Like y'all get in the comments. Let us know. Would love to hear your stories or thoughts that you've had. If you have experienced being the other Black girl or dealing with the other Black girl and how that has gone for you, or if you're dealing with that right now, we would love to hear about it. Yes, please let us know down in the comments.
And that being said, we are out. Thank you and see you next week.
Make sure to comment, like, subscribe.